The University of Aberdeen is a public research university in the city of Aberdeen, Scotland. It is an ancient university founded in 1495 when William Elphinstone, Bishop of Aberdeen, petitioned Pope Alexander VI on behalf of James IV, King of Scots, to create King's College. This makes it Scotland's third oldest university and fifth oldest in the English-speaking world. The university as it is today was formed in 1860 by a merger between King's College and Marischal College, a second university founded in 1593 in Aberdeen city centre as a Protestant alternative to King's College. Today, the University of Aberdeen is consistently ranked among the top 200 universities in the world and is one of two universities in Aberdeen, the other being the Robert Gordon University. The university's iconic buildings act as symbols of the city of Aberdeen, particularly Marischal College in the city centre and the spire of King's College in Old Aberdeen. There are two campuses. The main King's College campus is at Old Aberdeen, approximately 2 miles north of the city centre, around the original site of King's College, although most campus buildings were constructed in the 20th century during a period of expansion. The university's Forester Hill campus is located next to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary and houses the School of Medicine and Dentistry and School of Medical Sciences. The university has approximately 13,500 students from undergraduate to doctoral level, including many international students. In addition, the university's Centre for Lifelong Learning acts as an extension college, offering higher education courses to the local community, even for those without the usual qualifications for admission to degree-level study. A full range of disciplines are offered, and in 2012 the university offered over 650 undergraduate degree programs. 5 Nobel Prize winners are associated with the university. Other academics and graduates of the university include many distinguished figures, including physicist James Clerk Maxwell, Thomas Reid, the founder of the Scottish School of Common Sense and an important figure in the Scottish Enlightenment, philosopher Robert Adamson, educationalist and philosopher Alexander Bain, and theologian William Robinson Clark. History. See also King's College, Aberdeen and Marischal College for history pre-1860. King's and Marischal Colleges. The first university in Aberdeen, King's College, was founded in February 1495 by William Elphinstone, Bishop of Aberdeen, Chancellor of Scotland, and a graduate of the University of Glasgow, drafting a request on behalf of King James IV to Pope Alexander VI, resulting in a papal bull being issued. The first principal was Hector Boyce, graduate and professor of the University of Paris, who worked closely with Elphinstone to develop the university. Despite this founding date, teaching did not actually start for another 10 years, and the University of Aberdeen celebrated 500 years of teaching and learning in 2005. Following the Scottish Reformation in 1560, King's College was purged of its Roman Catholic staff, but in other respects was largely resistant to change. George Keith, the fifth Earl Marischal, was a modernizer within the college and supportive of the reforming ideas of Peter Ramus. In April 1593 he founded a second university in the city, Marischal College. It is also possible that the founding of another college in nearby Fraserburgh by Sir Alexander Fraser, a business rival of Keith, was instrumental in its creation. Aberdeen was highly unusual at this time for having two universities in one city. As 20th-century university prospectuses observed, Aberdeen had the same number as existed in England at the time. In addition, a further university was set up to the north of Aberdeen in Fraserburgh from 1595, but was closed down about a decade later. Initially, Marischal College offered the principal of King's College a role in selecting its academics, but this was refused, the first blow in a developing rivalry. Marischal College, being located in the commercial heart of the city, was quite different in nature and outlook For example, it was more integrated into the life of the city, such as allowing students to live out with the college. The two rival colleges often clashed, sometimes in court, but also in brawls between students on the streets of Aberdeen. As the institutions eventually began to put aside their differences, a process of attempted mergers began in the 17th century. During this time, notable intellectual contributions were made by both colleges to the Scottish Enlightenment. Both colleges supported the Jacobite rebellion, and following the defeat of the 1715 Rising were largely purged by the authorities of their academics and officials. The University of Aberdeen's creation, the nearest the two colleges had come to full union, was as the Caroline University of Aberdeen, a merger initiated by Charles I of Scotland in 1641. Following the civil conflicts of the Wars of the Three Kingdoms, a more complete unification was attempted following the ratification of Parliament by Oliver Cromwell during the interregnum in 1654. This united university survived until the Restoration, whereby all laws made during this period were rescinded by Charles II, and the two colleges reverted to independent status. Charles I is still recognized as one of the university's founders, due to his part in creating the Caroline University and his benevolence towards King's College. Further unsuccessful suggestions for union were brought about throughout the 18th and early 19th centuries. The two universities in Aberdeen were finally merged on 15 September 1860 in accordance with the Universities Act 1858, which also created a new medical school at Marischal College. The 1858 Act of Parliament stated that the united university shall take rank among the universities of Scotland as from the date of erection of King's College and University. The university is thus Scotland's third oldest and the United Kingdom's fifth oldest university. The modern university, the relationship of the two ex-college campuses has changed over the years. While at the time of unification each had approximately equal numbers of students, buildings at Marischal College began to be expanded in the late 19th century, with a significant rebuilding effort completed in 1906. In the 20th century, the university expanded greatly, particularly at King's College. New buildings were constructed on the land around King's College throughout the 20th century. Initially, these were built to match the ancient buildings, but later ones from the 1960s onward were constructed in brutalist style. Meanwhile, the Forester Hill campus began to train medical students in the 1930s next to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. During the mid-20th century, departments which had been at Marischal College moved into one of these new buildings, and by the late 20th century, Marischal College had been abandoned by all but the anatomy department, a graduation hall and the Marischal Museum. Following extensive fundraising, a £57 million new university library opened in autumn 2011 at the King's College campus to replace the outgrown Queen Mother Library, and was officially opened by the Queen in September 2012. Today, most students spend most of their time in modern buildings which provide up-to-date facilities for teaching, research and other activities such as dining. Locations. The original buildings of both colleges, which united to form the university, are much admired architectural features of Aberdeen. The main campus is now at King's College, where the original buildings are still in use, in addition to many newer buildings of largely modernist style. A second campus at Forester Hill houses the School of Medicine and Dentistry. In addition, there are smaller facilities at other sites such as the Royal Cornhill Hospital to the west of the city centre, and the Rowett Institute in Bucksburn. King's College. The King's College campus covers an area of some 35 hectares around the ancient King's College buildings and the High Street. It hosts around two-thirds of the university's built estate and most student facilities, and lies 2 miles north of Aberdeen city centre. The university does not own all the buildings on the campus, which also include private houses, shops and businesses, and it is best thought of as a district of the city dominated by the university. It can be reached from the city centre by bus routes 1, 2, 13, 19 and 20 operated by First Aberdeen, and from northern Aberdeenshire or the bus station at Union Square by various routes operated by Stagecoach. Bluebird. The historic King's College buildings form a quadrangle with interior court, two sides of which have been rebuilt and expanded with a library wing in the 19th century. The Crown Tower and the chapel, the oldest parts, date from around 1500. The Crown Tower is surmounted by a structure about 40 feet high, consisting of a six-sided lantern and royal crown, both sculptured, and resting on the intersections of two arched ornamental slips rising from the four corners of the top of the tower. This crown, also known as the Crown of Kings, frequently acts as a symbol of the university. The choir of the chapel contains original oak canopied stalls, missary seats, and lofty open screens in the French flamboyant style. The library wing was converted into an exhibition and conference venue in the 1990s and today also houses the university's business school. The first of the modern age of construction in the King's campus began with the construction in 1913 of the new building, largely in a similar architectural style to the old buildings. New King's groups to form a yet larger quadrangle-like green for the campus, also bordered by the High Street, King's and Elphinstone Hall, a traditional 1930 replacement for the Great Hall. The Elphinstone Hall was subsequently used as a dining facility but is now used for graduations, examinations, fairs, and other large university events. However, most students and staff spend relatively little time in these historic buildings, with a large number of modern ones housing most facilities and academic departments. Most date from the second half of the 20th century. Some of these echo the existing architecture of Old Aberdeen, such as the Fraser Noble building with its distinctive concrete crown designed to resemble the one adorning King's College. Other buildings were constructed of stone in the 1950s. A number of other buildings are designed in the Brutalist style, such as the Arts Lecture Theatre and adjoining William Guild building, opened in 1969 to house the School of Psychology. Also on the site is the Cruikshank Botanic Garden, which was presented to the university in 1899 and is open to the public. The most recent building on campus is the said Duncan Rice Library, completed in 2011 and designed by Danish architects Schmidt Hammerlassen. It was officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II in September 2012 and named after Duncan Rice, a previous principal of the university. This seven-story tower, clad in zebra-like jagged stripes of white and clear glass, replaced the smaller Queen Mother Library as the university's main library and can be seen prominently from the entire campus and much of the city. It is open to the public and outstanding views of the city and coastline are available from the upper floors. In addition to expanded facilities, it also houses public exhibition space and the university's historic collections, comprising more than 250,000 ancient and priceless books and manuscripts that have been collected over 5 centuries since the university's foundations. Other libraries are located in the Taylor Building on the same campus and at Forester Hill. The university's library service holds over 1 million books. Marischal College is a neo-Gothic building, having been rebuilt in 1836–41, and greatly extended several years later. Formerly an open three-sided court, the college now forms a quadrangle as additions to the buildings were opened by King Edward VII in 1906 and form the current facade from Broad Street. The building is widely considered to be one of the best examples of neo-Gothic architecture in Great Britain. The architect, Alexander Marshall Mackenzie, was a native of Aberdeen. The Mitchell Tower at the rear is named for the benefactor who paid for the graduation hall. The opening of this tower in 1895 was part of celebrations of the 400th anniversary of the university. Teaching no longer takes place at Marischal College, with many of the departments formerly based there having moved to King's College some decades previously, while graduations and other events took place in the cathedral-like Mitchell Hall in the North Wing. For many years much of the building was derelict. A restoration project was completed in 2011 and restored the building and its ornamentation. It is now occupied by Aberdeen City Council and forms the administrative headquarters for the city, replacing the aging St. Nicholas House across the street. The project provided modernised public facilities and office accommodation for the council as well as cosmetic rejuvenation, and involved the demolition and reconstruction of internal spaces while retaining and restoring the outer walls and windows. The university controls the north wing of the building containing the Marischal Museum and Mitchell Hall, which was used in the past for graduation and other academic ceremonies. Graduations currently take place at Elphinstone Hall at King's College. Others Forester Hill. The Forester Hill site contains the university's School of Medicine and Dentistry, medical library and associated modern buildings for teaching and research. It is located at Forester Hill in the west end of Aberdeen. It became part of the university's holdings in 1938 following the move of the medical school and forms part of a modern teaching hospital complex, alongside the Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. The 41-hectare site is split between the university and NHS Grampian. Hilton. A small campus at Hilton became part of the university estate following a merger in 2001 between the university and the Aberdeen campus of the Northern College, and temporarily became home to the university's Faculty of Education. It was located less than a mile southwest of King's College campus. Following the renovation of the Macrobert building at King's College to house the School of Education, the Hilton campus was closed and sold to developers. The campus was demolished and the land is now occupied by a residential development called the campus.